Live from your ESG defibrillator. Actually, Jesse, you need a defibrillator today.
I do.
I think we need somebody to teach us how to say defibrillator.
It's a bit. I actually did when I spelled it the first time. I put a U in there. I thought it was defibrillator. It's a Business Pants Friday show here at May 5th. Lane Studios, featuring all your favorites. Ari the Data Queen, Jesse the Money Whisperer, BS Man Matt Biscardi.
I'm here.
Whole gang's here.
On today's weekly wrap-up, loneliness is the new smoking. Pornhub is the new Dwayne Wade. Anheuser Busch is the new Bob Chapek, and Utah is the new Utah.
Oh, it was also the old Utah. How did they do that?
You ready to get into this? You want to just start so we can get this show under 4 hours?
Yeah.
Does it have to be under? I think our listeners have been demanding more 4-hour shows.
Let's get right to it. Story of the week.
Our
Come
listener.
on, let's do it.
Okay, story of the week. Do it.
Hollywood writers go on strike after talks with studios fail. One of the main reasons given for this strike is, believe it or not, AI, ChatGPT. Writers are scared.
Yeah.
Did they want a pause? Did they hear about the pause?
Only one man wants the
informed
pause,
about the pause?
and that's Elon Musk. Nobody else wants a pause.
No, there were a lot of signatories for the pause. The pause was a big deal.
What about just a
Everybody wants a
cancel? How about a
pause.
cancel?
The writers would agree with that.
It does seem that everybody who's ever created the AI that everyone wants to pause has said they need to cancel it. I did just read that like one of the inventors said there's a 20 to 30% chance or 10 to 20% chance that it ends in doomsday.
Yes. That seems good. Actually, I'll take those chances. I thought it was much higher.
Will you? Will you?
I thought it was way higher. Number 2 big story of the week. JPMorgan is buying First Republic Bank after it was taken over by regulators. First Republic's failure, second largest in U.S. history. And also a bit of a glass cliff alert. Maybe the acquired First Republic businesses will be overseen by 2 women at JPMorgan, co-CEOs Mary Ann Lake and Jennifer Peepshack.
Did read, though, that there is speculation that they are potential successors to Jamie Dimon.
You stole my next thought. That's what I was wondering. Is that are they being groomed in a positive way?
Yeah. Now you can't say groomed anymore.
Yeah. Well, how about that battle though? It's kind of mean though, putting them both like pitting them against each other. But that's
I was going
that's
to
the corporate
ask,
world.
are they co-founder? Are they in the succession plan? Would they be co-CEOs or they're battling it out?
I think it's Jamie wants to see which one he likes the best. That's what's happening. Jamie's gonna.
That's a sad, terrible situation for them.
Jamie's gonna drop an air tag in each one of their pockets, and he's gonna figure out which one he likes best.
He's gonna put them in an arena and drop supplies like the Hunger Games. They have to battle it out.
Next big story of the week. I think we have a new. I guess we have a new pandemic. We have a new COVID. The Surgeon General announcing that social isolation is as bad for your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day or having 6 drinks a day. Jesus. I can't
believe that.
Raise your hand if those things apply to you.
I wish they did. I miss those days. Overall, why can't I say social today? Because I'm a loner, I guess.
You need a defibrillator.
Overall, social participation is decreasing. The decrease, speaking of AI and, Meta and Snapchat, the decrease is particularly stark for people between the ages of 15 and 24. For them, time with friends has decreased by 70% over the past 2 decades.
Wow.
It's incredible.
What are people doing? Are they just going home and doing nothing?
They're holding their phone like you.
Snapchatting,
Yeah.
so there's there's an idea of you're being social, but you're actually at home.
According to the Surgeon General, loneliness increases the risk of heart disease and stroke by about 30%, and chronic loneliness can increase the risk of dementia by 50%. So there we go. We have a new pandemic.
They did not factor into that study, though. I did read some of it, that now AI companions are going to be the next big thing. There's a real thing. There's a guy who said he wanted to marry his AI girlfriend.
Doesn't that increase?
Yeah, but can't
loneliness?
they turn on you pretty quickly depending on what you say to them?
I mean, if you
Don't have to
just
be
like a
trained
real
to be
girlfriend.
companion.
Imagine if you get really, really attached to this AI companion, and then all of a sudden it goes awry, and that's like
Jesse,
your only
that's real
friend.
life, Jesse.
Just don't call your AI companion fat, and you're good.
But Matt,
I'm just saying that's a slippery slope.
But what you're suggesting would increase isolation, no?
Isolation from like
Humanity.
humans,
Yes.
but not deep fake humans.
Okay,
so
okay,
we haven't figured that out yet.
It's all about connections, right? Like feeling
Yes.
connected, right? So you can feel connected to your AI
No.
robot.
No, you're wrong about
I
that.
feel connected to my couch.
Speaking of deep fakes, maybe the first deep fake presidential candidate in our last story of the week. This is I always like to pick something that relates to board sabermetrics, to free float, to business bands. In an exclusive, Vivek Ramaswamy paid to have his Soros fellowship and COVID error roll scrubbed from Wikipedia page. There you go.
What?
That's
Doesn't
true.
he know that he can just go in there and do it himself?
No,
for free?
that's not true. Actually, you're not allowed to edit
Yes,
nilly
you
willy.
can.
No, I think there's aren't
No,
there?
you
I
can
think
go
it's
through.
really
You can
nilly
go through
also.
a process, but
You
you
go
can
through a
do it for
process.
free yourself.
Well, yeah, but if-
and the process isn't very hard.
But if you're rich like Vivek, why not just write a check? What are you talking about?
because then you have a trail. It's like so much easier to just do it yourself.
He's an idiot.
And Matt,
Look.
I think you're covering this more later, are you not?
Yeah, I'm covering this more later, but I do love that those two things happened, and he used CRT on our show. Business Pants is going to bring down Vivek Ramaswamy.
Is he up? I didn't realize he was up.
yeah, that's true.
That I will cover.
Okay. So those are your four stories: Hollywood strike, JPMorgan buying First Republic, social isolation's a new pandemic, and Vivek is scared of his Soros fellowship.
There's a clear winner here.
Yeah, there's
Is there
no
really?
doubt.
No,
winner.
Ari,
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
What?
JP Morgan.
Yes,
duh.
Okay.
correct.
Middle of the night.
Boo.
Correct.
3 a.m.
Not only was it middle of the night,
After
3
the
a.m.,
Asian markets opened.
but
Boring.
Hack West and a number of other small banks are now desperately seeking stays on short selling against their stocks. Their stocks are plummeting. There might be a whole other set of these mid-tier nobody banks that are going to get consolidated
Dun, dun, dun.
for no good reason. For no good reason.
Well,
I love no good reason
I'll take-
as a reason.
I'll take the board sabermetrics angle here and say that maybe it's exciting that Jane Fraser will get a friend.
Finally. Or
Jesse,
last.
do you have a vote for this, or are you going with those two losers?
I'll go with that.
Oh.
We peer pressured her.
You did.
You felt socially
wanted to-
isolated in the corner.
I wanted to give the Hollywood writers a little bit of love, but I mean, realistically, the story of the week is JP.
And Ari, I think this is. I'm going to write this down in my show notes. I think this is the day that Ari became an official pundit because she led it off by
That's
saying
true.
the clear winner is. So she really.
That's what happens.
There's only one right.
Ari is
Twitter
born.
next
I
to
like
Matt.
this. All right, there you go.
Ew.
Let's move on. Speaking of Ari, to goodliest of the week. Come on, make me feel good, Ari.
Well, we're going to start out with porn. So.
Yeah.
I don't know if that leads to feeling good. Well, in some ways, maybe.
This is a headline.
Mhm.
After Pornhub shuts down its site in Utah,
Mhm.
Google searches for VPN access jumped.
Oh, of course.
Come on.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even. Oh, yeah, of course.
And this is the goodliest because
Mhm.
Pornhub left an entire state when they passed a law that was stupid and sucked. If they can do it, so can everyone in Florida, right?
Yeah, but Ari, here's the
Let's
problem.
go.
But here's the problem. Does that mean that people will stay in Florida and get a VPN and pretend they live in Delaware? Like, what's that going to look like?
Hey, if then you start paying your taxes to Delaware and not Florida,
No,
that'll help.
The point is the company left.
The company left.
Yeah, it wasn't
Pornhub
the
left.
people.
Wait, what do you mean the
Pornhub-
company left?
Pornhub turned off access
Mhm.
to anyone with a Utah IP address.
Who's too stupid to
Pornhub.
get a virtual private network?
A
Well, that's
VPN.
why.
Yes.
That's why the article said the number one search term in Utah following Pornhub turning off within 24 hours was "How do I get a VPN?"
I don't want to have a big deep dive on porn here, but in my understanding, there are 17,000 porn sites. So does this really cripple Utah? One company? I mean, I'm
Pornhub's
it's fine.
the
I'm glad.
biggest.
They're the biggest. Okay, fine.
Yeah, and they're doing something. Hopefully
wait a
they
minute.
do that in Florida and Texas too.
Wait a minute. You think that porn is any different than any other media? You go to Pornhub, it's not just Pornhub's website.
Right.
They own like 70 of the websites.
So it's like Disney.
It's like
You're
conglomerates.
equating them to Disney, ABC, ESPN.
They are the Disney of porn.
Right.
Yeah.
Hulu.
It's everything.
I mean, you're probably not
that's
wrong,
true.
to be honest. In fact,
I know I'm not wrong.
I really have nothing more to say than this.
Map this.
This is the one industry that everyone is too ashamed to even talk about. I mean, we never analyze this industry because no one knows anything about it. They hide.
I'm sure there's a guy named Gus who runs the entire industry.
Probably like 10 Gus's. Yeah, go ahead, Ari.
Maybe I should become the expert of this.
Yeah, porn
Porn
expert.
ESG
Ari,
expert.
Do you know, you're in our database the most. Are any porn companies publicly traded?
Yes.
I was asking Ari.
I don't know the names of porn companies.
Matt,
so I
tell
am
me.
unable to tell
Which
you.
one, Matt?
100%. There's one in Canada
Okay.
that was publicly traded. I don't think there's any
Barrick
in
Gold.
the U.S.
Okay.
No, I know because I had to look this up for something.
Okay.
There's very few.
Okay.
But I did look it up.
I mean,
And they're named like, Eagle Holdings. They're not named like, big.
GetYourPornHere.com.
It's not
Brown
like Big
Paper
Phallus
Corporation,
Inc.
yeah.
or whatever. Like, yeah, it's
All right.
they're named something innocuous.
What else, Ari?
So anyway, I support that. Apple and Google submit plan to fight AirTag stalking.
Okay.
So Apple and Google are finally ready to stop letting you get stalked by AirTags
Aw,
and
so nice.
other
Finally
devices
ready. Yeah,
like Tile.
This is sad.
it is sad.
These devices were created to help you find your keys, your luggage, your kids, but it is increasingly
Oh,
being used to keep tabs on your ex-lovers
Yeah.
and other people who don't know they're being tracked. Although I should be fair to them, Apple and Google individually have done things to try to alert you. Like if you're an iPhone user, your iPhone will give you an alert saying, "Hey, there's an AirTag not connected to your phone that is on either your person, your car. It is traveling with you."
Oh.
So they do have those alerts, but
wait.
the new thing here is that they're setting an industry standard and they are working together so that it's not just for iPhone users or Android users. It is across internet users and cell phone users. People will be able to see if they're being stalked or they will be alerted.
And
This
what's
is
the
somehow
remedy?
good.
So,
This is goodliest.
so the remedy is that if you see that you're being stalked, you can block that stalker like immediately through your phone.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know what the solution is
Okay.
other than just you are alerted.
You are
And
alerted.
it has-
Great.
You're being stalked.
Yeah, that's a
It
nice
has-
that's a nice alert.
It has gotten
Isn't that popping up?
it is being applauded by domestic violence advocates.
Sure.
Is saying this will help protect survivors of domestic violence. So, this is good. They're coming together. Oh, the whole thing, setting an industry standard with the Department of the Internet.
Yes.
That's who they're
asked-
submitting their proposal to.
I'm gonna throw this back to you, Matt. Is this woke? Is this too woke for? Is this have the shareholders' interests in mind? Or is this
No, right?
No, it's just humane.
But
No,
humane-
they're-
I mean, it's about time.
But humane is woke. They're supposed to be. They're supposed to be worried about their
no.
shareholders, not about people
the
being
anti-woke
tracked.
are trying.
Well, this is a pending lawsuit. I don't know. They're trying.
I'm an Apple
to
shareholder.
not
I don't care if
get
women are
sued.
being stalked. How dare they? They're
What if
wasting. They're
1,000
wasting company
women
resources
start
on
suing
this.
you?
This is greenwashing. I don't know what I'm doing.
No,
I'm
this
trying to
is-
be Vivek. I'm auditioning for Tucker Carlson's job. I'm failing.
It's not
It's
working.
not working.
No, this is not woke.
Okay. What else?
All right,
Sorry.
there you have it.
Answer done.
So, Damien, you already talked a little bit about this,
Mm-hmm.
but when writers go on strike, you get the best signs ever.
Okay. I'm already voting for this because it just sounds weird.
And this
Yeah.
this was on NPR. It said the best picket signs of the Hollywood writers' strike.
Oh, okay, I like this. NPR is the
And
new
I
BuzzFeed, I
captured-
guess.
Oh, BuzzFeed News, RIP.
Yep.
Oh, wah, wah.
And I got a couple of ones that I liked a lot, so I'm going to share with you.
Okay.
These are picket signs. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Succession without writers is just the apprentice.
Oh.
Aw.
And look how that turned out.
Yeah, Matt you were referring to this yesterday. I said, with a sigh of relief, I said, finally we can have a break from all this horrible streaming content. But Matt, you pointed out it's all become reality TV, and you're right. I mean,
that's all you got.
Yeah.
Right. That's you have to fill the time.
You get
Horrible,
nasty
horrible.
Donald Trump. Yeah, playing CEO on TV. Yeah, go ahead, Ari.
Another one. ChatGPT doesn't have childhood trauma.
I saw that one. I was
Implying
conflicted
that they can't
by
be
that.
As funny.
Yeah, but
Why?
but couldn't they learn? Couldn't they learn to imagine they had trauma? I mean, I get the sentiment on this one, but can't they figure out what it feels like to have had trauma?
They did want to kill someone's wife.
Yeah,
Like,
that sounds like a PTSD moment.
That sounds.
I don't think they. I mean, I get what you're saying. You can teach it trauma. You can teach it
Sure.
how people behave from trauma, but I don't think they can extract the humor, but then sprinkle it over.
Except, Ari, if they analyze like the 100 funniest shows by writers who experience some kind of trauma in their childhood, aren't they going to be able to figure out those beats eventually? That's my question.
Well, first they have to know who those are.
Well, I'm going to tell them.
All right, here's more.
Yep.
I like your offer as much as you like an angry female lead.
Ooh.
Zing.
Our therapists keep saying we have to stand up for ourselves, so here we are. Sorry.
That's cute.
Come on, that was funny. That's it.
It's all in the delivery.
All right.
All right. So our three goodliest options are Pornhub shutting down in Utah. Apple and Google are ready to fight some stalking, and Hollywood writers picket signs.
This is a tough one. Yeah. I don't know if I feel good about any of these.
What?
No, there's one.
are all great.
There's
I'll
one
kick it
obvious
off.
one.
Yeah, somebody go
go
first and convince me.
And I'm really surprised that this is going to be my vote for goodliest, but it's going to be Pornhub.
Yes.
Why? But I want to know why. I want to know why.
Because it's cool to set some. It's cool to take action. Like, just do something.
Okay.
You
like
know,
like
if
the
you don't
anti-woke,
like
like the anti-woke movement, like Disney's
No, that's
speaking
not
out
what
against
I mean.
Don't
Yeah,
say
yeah.
gay.
Yeah,
Fight Disney.
yeah.
Fight Disney.
Yeah, kill Disney. I know. No, you're correct though. The
Thank you,
Utah
Matt.
legislature did. Yeah, this is the correct answer. Utah legislature passes a stupid law that where they say if you show any porn, you need to verify the ID of every user every time.
Why is that stupid?
I have a question. Do they charge? Can you charge sales tax on porn? People don't pay for it, right? It's
Sure,
free.
I'm sure. You
Is
have
it
to.
good,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
It's just,
Okay,
yes.
so they'll lose money. That's kind of cool.
Well,
On
it's not
Pornhub.
that the idea is bad. It's that the way they did the idea was every single time you ever wanted to use porn, you would have to get out your license, type it in, or scan it in, and the companies then have to like increase all their privacy protections because now you have like someone's all that data.
Oh.
So
Remember,
A
we've covered
porn
this
company.
before.
A porn company has all your data.
with everyone's license in the
So,
state.
like the DMV.
Yeah. And what the
maybe
porn companies have
we
said,
can merge those two entities and we can get our licenses renewed while we're watching porn.
that was win-win.
That's efficient.
That's efficient. But what the porn company said is, why not register a device as an adult device or a kid device, and then we can just use the IP of that device and block it accordingly. But rather than do that, the state legislature made it impossible. The porn companies can't comply, so they shut it down. There's nothing bad about that. You made a dumb law that makes it impossible to comply to that law. Shut it down. Done. I like it.
It's also their way of saying we're so rich that we don't care about Utah.
I'm going with that one.
I guess you guys convinced me. I don't. The AirTag thing is. I appreciate the sentiment, Ari, but I don't know if I trust that they're going to figure out the
condescending
solution. I
enough for
don't know
you?
if I trust the solution here. I'll just call it a clean sweep. Pornhub shutting down in Utah.
There it is.
I
It's
just like
really
porn in
uncomfortable.
Utah. I just like that combination.
Damien is really uncomfortable with farts, porn, bodily fluids.
Let's
Just
move on.
not-
We
Speaking
should
of
fly
which-
you out there to test it out.
I've never been to Utah. I'd like that. Speaking of which,
right.
assholiest of the week, Matt Mascardi. Come on.
Asshole is to the week. Okay, there's a lot here.
Lots of assholes
Wow.
this week?
Not a
there's
lot of assholes. There's a lot to say. And I'm going to start with the one that has the most to say, and then we'll get short for the rest. The
Okay.
first one is everyone at Anheuser Busch.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so they had
The
an
company
earnings
that
call.
everybody hates now.
They had an earnings call yesterday, or a day and a half ago.
Was that already scheduled?
Yeah, it was all scheduled. It's a
Yes.
regular quarterly earnings call.
Oh, that stinks.
But of course, they have to address the
Right.
Bud Light,
Terrible timing.
Dylan Mulvaney
'Cause it just
situation,
happened.
right? So their first response is, I'm going to crib their response and then read you the actual things that he said on the call. This is the CEO. Basically, what he said was, "We love beer and people. Just please don't make us say trans or gay anywhere in this call. I don't want to say it.
We love beer and people, but don't. Okay, got it.
But don't. We cannot. It's don't say trans. It was
Right.
basically the whole call. Here's one thing. Quote, "This was the result of one camp. It was one post, not a formal campaign or advertisement." And then, so this he says this repeatedly. It was one person, one camp. This is not a campaign. We are not on the side of the trans. This is just one person. It was one influencer. For Christ's sake, it's one person. He basically says that throughout the entire thing, but says, quote, "This situation has impacted our people, and especially our frontline workers, the delivery drivers, sales representatives, our wholesalers, bud owners, and servers.
Sure.
We've been doing everything we can to support our teams and ensure that safety while continuing to brew, package, and together for wholesalers deliver great beer to the market. We are providing direct financial support to the frontline teams that work for us and our wholesalers."
What?
I'm waiting for
So-
the great beer part of that, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, he says throughout there that, like, we're just a beer company. Our campaign is, like, easy to drink, easy to blah. I don't know. It's stupid. But the point is, at no point in there is he say the people that he's also worried about is his customers who happen to be
Right.
LGBTQ plus, who are being actively targeted as a result of this campaign.
Or what about the person they did hire for this one post?
Yes, they have not addressed that. Dylan Mulvaney's back on social and did address that. But, quote, "We continue to be committed to the programs and partnerships that we have forged over decades with our consumers and with organizations that represent a wide range of communities where we operate.
Wait.
We stand behind Bud Light."
But what programs was he referring to? The
None.
LGBTQ?
There's no specific programs that were mentioned.
Because they have
None
had
came up.
they have had alliances with LGBTQ in the past. This is not the first thing they've ever done.
It's not the first.
It's just the
and,
first time that Kid Rock has gotten mad.
Yes, correct. But they want you to know that they stand behind Bud Light. We don't
Okay.
stand behind the LGBTQ plus
Wow.
community. We stand behind Bud Light. And let me finish this segment by saying our full year earnings growth outlook is unchanged. So don't worry about us.
Well, Bud
So
Light
it
is
didn't matter.
Bud Light is a small segment of their portfolio.
They have a
right?
lot, but it's the largest single segment, but
Okay.
it's still small overall. Overall, so far they've had a 1% decline in Bud Light sales globally, and something like
Globally.
20% in the U.S.
It-
but
yeah.
globally,
Well,
it's-
and you know
doesn't
what?
matter.
That's their own fault. Now they're just getting everybody mad at them.
Well, I'll say this: that the CEO of Anheuser Busch is not who you'd expect it to be. It's not a European. It's actually like a very American Brendan Whitworth, who was in the Marines, was a CEI spy handler, and then
Obviously.
and then went to Harvard Business School. This is a interesting dude in this world. I was expecting a European who didn't understand the American culture wars, but this guy's squarely
He's in them.
he's in him. Yeah.
So he wraps up his segment where he says, let me address this thing. And that's how he addressed it, by basically saying those things. And then he goes on to say, this is my crib, while you're looking at the trans lady, we also, by the way, love China. In China, quote, "In China, our business delivered double-digit top and bottom line growth." Don't the anti-woke hate China?
They hate China. Yeah, they do hate China.
They hate China. And his next paragraph is about how well they're doing in China, followed by this. Quote, "Now I would like to share with you a few sustainability highlights." And he spent a paragraph on their decarbonization in their supply chain.
Right.
This person's just all over the place. He doesn't know.
No, it's really not this person. I think it's Kid Rock is all over the place.
They cut to questions in their earnings call. And basically, he has to address 5 different analysts asking the same question about the trans campaign, quote unquote, 5 different ways, but it's the same question. He says this, quote, we will need to continue to clarify the fact that this is one can, one influencer, one post.
Why does
not
that
a
matter to
campaign.
him? Why does
repeat this message for some time?
But why does he think that distinction is going to matter to either side?
That was my thinking was like, what who cares? Who cares how many it was? By saying that, you're basically saying like, we disavow the trans person. It happened once.
Right.
It's like that one time
Whoops,
I thought about
drunk.
kissing a guy in college.
It's an oops.
Yeah, it's like you got
oops.
drunk and you cheated on your wife one time. It's like, I will never drink again, or...
That seems more extreme. Then he goes on to say, quote, given the current environment, especially for the social media landscape, it was important that they, quote, have senior marketers running the programs. He just threw the marketer under the bus on the earnings call. They basically said they pushed aside, they put on leave the marketers who came up with the one can, one time, one influencer idea and said, now we have senior marketers running the program.
Oh, God.
All of this is very subtle.
As if the senior marketers weren't aware of what was gonna
the
drop.
levels
Please,
of approval.
Please.
And then finally says, just to reemphasize who Bud Light is. Quote, we know that Bud Light Lane is around quality beer, to drink, is to enjoy, is about sports.
It's about sports. Wow.
That's why. So after this all happened, that's why we came back strong with the NFL draft.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
That's because trans don't play in the NFL.
Hey, you know what?
This is where we really get it. Came back strong.
I'm glad you mentioned the NFL because just yesterday, the Associated Press announced that the NFL is under investigation amid claims of gender discrimination and harassment. So it's a good tie in there.
They're behind that. We stand behind that.
So Matt, this is all his way of saying that we analyzed our demographics, our customer demographics, liberals, gays, trans, they don't drink our beer. We don't care about them, right? Isn't that basically what he's saying?
In the end, he was saying, like, whether or not they drink it, clearly you drink more of it, people who hate them, and therefore we want you to know we're
love you.
NFL. We are going to Travis Tritt concerts. We are like that was just a one time. We were even testing. We weren't really even doing it. It was just a one time. It wasn't real because I left the can on the desk and then like Dylan used it. I didn't know they were going to
showed up.
I don't know what happened.
Someone mailed it out to her.
Just so I can move on from this story, where does this end, Matt? You got a prediction where this ends for Anheuser Busch, or does people just forget about this in 3 weeks?
This is nuts.
Well, they are. Where it ends is they're terrified that Ron DeSantis is going to ban Bud Light in Florida. And I think that the long game here is every company is now looking at every ad that they ever do and saying, how much liability are we taking on by doing this ad? I actually think it's not a happy ending.
So now it's like diversity versus liability?
Yes.
I was going to say send it to Utah. There's a lot of angry people there, but they don't drink, so you can't send the Bud Light to
they
Utah.
will drink more now that they have no porn.
Can they drink Bud Light,
no, but they don't,
it's like barely beer.
I don't know. We'd have to call the Mormon. I was actually going to call the Mormon church later. I'll ask them that question. All right, come on, move on.
The percentage
All right,
is low enough.
The rest of these are faster. Damien, you already mentioned this. Paying to have your Wikipedia article scrub the word Soros and COVID-19 response team is asshole of the week. And also, just as a side note, Vivek sent this out. I'm on his mailing list.
Yep.
He wants us to know that breaking news, CBS News poll, which GOP candidate would you vote for? Number 1, Donald Trump. Number 2, Ron DeSantis. Tied for 3rd, Mike Pence and Vivek Ramaswamy. He's tied for 3rd.
I find that
in the
hard to
polls.
believe, frankly.
And that was breaking
What
news.
he didn't add in there is that he's tied for 3rd at 4% of the vote with the guy who's not running for president.
4% is an improvement. Hey, 4% is a 400% improvement for Vivek. I'm just going to say it.
It's true. Number 3 on the asshole list is Bauer Food LLC and McDonald's.
Why Bauer Food?
Bauer Food LLC was the largest franchisee found
Got
to
it.
be using child labor
Oh.
throughout all of their stores, including the 2 10-year-olds who were working until 2 a.m.
Oh my God.
Unpaid 10-year-olds.
In the United States.
They disavowed it. They said they were the kids of a parent who worked there. They didn't give them permission to be on the premises. So clearly one of two things is happening. Either we're asking so much of employees at McDonald's that they have to bring their kids in to help them do their day job, or we just don't care about child labor anymore.
Well,
and we're definitely not paying them enough.
it's about to get worse with the new obesity drugs. The McDonald's is going to be even more crowded.
Yeah, Ozempic increasing McDonald's sales. That's a solid prediction. You should do that. Fourth, deep fake designed deep fake meat.
All right, now
This
you're
just pissed
now
me
you're
off.
just being weird. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not. The Shake Shack now has a vegan menu. They used an AI company to design the menu for their vegan menu. So they asked AI what the most plant-based, what the best plant-based food they can make is. They use those recipes to make their. Come on.
That makes no
Is it
sense.
good? Should we go try it out?
That makes no sense.
What do
to
they
me.
come up with?
I just hate that we're now using AI for like you couldn't add some ingredients. You couldn't sit down and be like, all right, we want to sell a veggie burger. That's all you're doing. You're selling a veggie burger.
Well, they don't have to have chefs now or anything.
Nope.
Just saving.
Did they ever have
cutting
chefs
costs right there.
at Shake Shack? I
I'd
don't know.
hope. I'd hope.
Yeah, they're
It's
10
a
years
burger
old. They work
joint.
till
It's
3 a.m.
McDonald's. Come on, keep going.
Finally, ISS, asshole of the week. The recommendation is out at Tesla. Vote out. Only Robin Denholm.
Oh,
the
so
chair of
not
the board.
not
Not
frat-
JB Straubel.
not frat boy JB Straubel.
JB Straubel, safe. Elon Musk, safe. Now Robin Denholm is the problem.
Poor
So
Robin.
Glass Lewis said
That's
JB
just
Straubel,
bizarre.
too much. ISS, Robin Denholm, too much.
They need our data.
Neither of them said
ISS.
the entire board, pointless.
I gotta say, this is like old school corporate governance. ISS. If someone's listening, I know someone from ISS is listening. Reach out to us. I'd like to talk about this one. Why? Why would you okay JB Straubel, former
what-
CTO? Why would you want another related director to Elon Musk? How does that serve the
The only reason I can
shareholders?
think is that JB Straub, like Glass Lewis and ISS called each other up and said, we can't say both. Neither of us can say both. You say JB, we'll say Robin. We can't say Elon. So
Collusion.
there you go. That's
All
how
right,
we'll do it.
let's vote.
So there you go. Anheuser Busch, Vivek scrubbing his website of Soros, Bauer Food, child labor, vegan AI designed vegan food, and ISS Tesla recommendation.
Imagine if AI designed vegan food was a clean sweep. Imagine if that happened.
It should be. It
Anybody
pissed me off.
have some anger they want to share?
I
Ari?
want to vote for multiple.
I'm voting for
Yeah, go ahead.
child labor.
Really?
Wow.
Kind of surprised
That's-
at
Yep.
that. Kinda
I'm
surprised at
split
that.
between child labor
What?
and Anheuser Busch, but I'm gonna go Anheuser Busch.
Anheuser-Busch
But
seems like the bigger.
Oh, I like
I'm
this.
sad about child labor. That's messed up.
Well, then don't move to Iowa because they just
I won't.
drafted legislation to make it. to
Not
make
bringing
more,
my
more
kids
children
there.
work.
No, Wisconsin. 14-year-olds can serve beer in Wisconsin. That's what
Oh
they're.
my
That's what they're
God.
circulating now.
Thank you.
I'll just to keep it fun. I like when we have a tie. I'm going to vote for Vivek Ramaswamy because the part you left out here, Matt, was the reason he's been giving for his bounce was his anti-trans rhetoric on Meet the Press.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that I saw an article where he suggested that this was his kind of drop the mic moment that is getting him a bounce, is coming out strong.
That trans is a
Meet the
mental
Press.
illness.
Yes.
Is that what he
So
said?
and it's a good tie into the Anheuser Busch story, but I'll let you break the vote there.
Look, I think arguably child labor is exhaustingest. I hate the vegan AI thing, but that's personal. ISS.
That is personal.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
ISS is hard to say is asshole of the week, considering Glass Lewis wasn't. Which brings me to Anheuser Busch.
Yeah, it's
Anheuser Busch.
It's the clear winner.
I mean, there are few assholier things you can do
Yeah, horrible.
than on your earnings call desperately try to pivot away without ever saying trans or LGBTQ or acknowledging the real things that are happening.
I mean, they went out of their way to make her a can, and they can't just stand by that. They can't just say... They're so weak and so filled up with hate and fear that they can't just stand by one stupid can.
They did stand by the can. They just said, it's just one can. It's just one can.
Sure,
it's not all the cans.
Whatever.
It's not a Starbucks Christmas cup.
Moving on. Exhaustingest of the week.
Yeah.
Jesse the Money
Ready
Whisperer.
for this?
Come on. I'm not really.
No.
I'm already exhausted after that.
Okay, well, I'll try to keep it short. We'll try to go through this quickly. My first article is about our favorite state this week, Utah.
Wow,
I didn't know this.
Utah. This is a big Utah
this,
theme.
Yeah, I didn't know it was going to be a Utah Fest this show.
I did tag a bunch of Utah stuff this week. Yeah.
The Utah State Board of Ed is also making some stupid decisions.
Mm-hmm.
They considered I think the vote was yesterday, but they're considering removing climate change, the term climate change from curriculum. They're deciding whether the term is too politically charged to be taught to students.
Yeah, I know. Every time I hear that word, I think,
what a bunch of geniuses.
And their proposal is just talking about the change in climate.
my God.
No one will connect the two. You see the way that works?
Right? Because it's so much less politically
change is
charged.
now first. It's not climate's change.
New levels of
Changing
idiocy.
climate.
Yeah.
Because you can't deny that. At least they recognize you can't deny seeing that it's changing. But yeah, so we don't have to go into that. I just think, what? Really?
Jesse, I think we should change your category to depressingest of the week, really, honestly.
Okay, well, maybe I'm going to need a new category then. If that's
ongoing depressingest of the week.
All right,
that's
what
what
else?
exhausting is.
All right. More moms are leaving the workforce, but it's not because they want to.
All right, I want to hear about this.
A company called Motherly did a 2023 State of Motherhood report where they surveyed over 10,000 American mothers. And here are some of the findings. 18% of moms changed jobs or left the workforce in the past year. Of that 18%, 28% they did so to be home with young kids, but 15% said it was due to lack of childcare. 49%, so half of families rely on outside childcare, with 63% paying for 30 or more hours a week.
Right.
And 1 in 5 moms say that they aren't satisfied with care. A whopping 69% say that's because of the crushing expenses.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So for many moms, that's what they're deciding between. 52% say that they would need more affordable childcare to return to work, but 64% said that they would actually need a more flexible work schedule as well. So it's not, the expense is obviously a big challenge or obstacle, but so is the lack of flexibility and employers recognizing that life does indeed change when you have kids.
What?
And yeah, surprising.
I can't believe that.
So surprising. So I did a little research because obviously we know that America is way behind in all of this. And I was like curious what other countries actually have great policies for mothers or just people in the workforce that are raising families. And I stumbled upon a Harvard Business Review where the journalist, through an extensive Google search, where the journalist had 2 friends, both named Sarah, one who lives in Seattle, one who lives in Stockholm.
The alliteration here.
Sarah in Stockholm and Sarah in Seattle. And we don't have to go through it, but obviously the Sarah in Seattle had to jump through so many hoops to figure out not only to afford the birth in general, but she worked for a really small company, so there was no guaranteed paid time off, so she had to jump through hoops there. And then also she had to in her third trimester.
You're head of HR. That means we don't have to pay Ari when she goes on maternity leave?
We're paying Ari.
Oh.
Executive decision made by me, the head of HR. But yeah, and then she had during the third trimester to put her unborn child onto daycare list to get them into daycare, and that didn't happen in time. So it's just a whole thing. And then you have here are just a list of some countries that subsidize and support working families. You have obviously the Nordic countries, Sweden, Finland, Norway. You have Iceland, you have Singapore, France, Netherlands, Canada, Germany, Japan, and even Russia.
when they're not bombing a Ukrainian, they're cradling
supporting
babies.
They're supporting their mothers that are
Look,
returning to work.
Our whole here at Free Float, our entire childcare plan is we are going to get a travel crib and put it in the corner and
And then
Make
nobody
Ari
can
come back
get
to work.
any work done.
then come into the office.
So it's equitable.
yeah, that's what it
That'll
So
be
is.
if
my
you want
excuse,
board
too.
sabermetrics, buy it before the end of July.
Yes. Yeah, because then it's going to be shit.
I will say this, Jesse. While I do support everything you're saying, and I think the United States should do better, the one detail that's always left out of these studies is like Sweden. Let's take Sweden, for instance. Its population is smaller than Los Angeles. So maybe it's a little
I
bit
don't-
easier. I'm just saying.
I don't know that. I mean, okay.
Just saying it. I'm just saying.
To be
I'm not saying that the United States shouldn't do better, but
He's Tucker Carlson
I
just
am.
saying.
I
Just-
am.
I'm just saying.
I don't know
I'm just
that's a
posing it as
great
a question.
argument.
'cause
I think
they always refer to these homogenous populations that are very tiny.
Well,
and yes, it is easy to take care of
France.
them, and it
You
is a
love
good model.
France.
France gets a lot wrong though in this respect. Sweden does do a better job than
What?
France, but
You finally broke the Francophile. All
I
you
just
had to
wanted
do
to
was talk
throw
about
that in.
mother rights.
just want to throw
that's
that in.
fair. Thank you for saying that.
I don't think that was
Thank
genuine.
you for your concern. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
I also have something to say about AI because it continues to exhaust all of us. And I've talked about AI in the dating world before, but guess what? There's a new AI dating website that has arrived on the scene, and it's
Which
called
you
Hot Chat 3000.
Yeah, well, why
really?
would you?
Is it called that?
Yes.
You shouldn't know this though,
That's
Jesse.
awesome.
You're about to get married. You shouldn't be using hot.
This was pure research
Okay.
only
I am
for my job.
Really interested.
Hot Chat 3000. Here's what it is.
Hot Chat
When a
3000.
user enters Hot Chat 3000, they're asked to upload a picture of themselves. And electronic music is just humming in the background as it's analyzing your photo. And it's giving you a hotness rating scale 1 to 10,
Ooh, I like
which in
this.
turn
This is like Mark
dictates who
Zuckerberg
you
all
can
over
chat
again.
with.
Oh.
So a user who earns, say, a 5.4 score will be matched with another person who scores between 5 and 5.9. So no way you can
Love
date
this.
above
Well,
or
I like
below
this.
your hotness score.
This is the best use of AI I've ever heard.
There's no names.
Matt
you
would
just
have never married Courtney in this world.
I
just become your
How dare
score.
you.
I was gonna say, how do you know? How do
Names
you
are
know, Ari?
erased.
How
I
You
dare
just
you?
refer to people as 5.2 or 6.4.
My wife is a 7.1, and I'm
Yeah,
like
right.
I'm like a 7.0.
The caveat here is that this is a voluntary service, right? You don't have to use Hot
Of
Chat
course it
3000.
is.
Okay. I just want to let people
No,
know.
you absolutely
You
do.
don't
God,
have to
it's
sign up for
It
this.
is required.
And I'm sure, like, okay, you probably know signing up for something like Hot Chat 3000.
Yeah, you know what you're
How
getting
hot
into
you
is what
are.
I'm saying.
you know a little bit about what you're getting into, but there are critics that are very upset about this, saying that it deliberately sets out to expose, visualize, and exacerbate biases that AI
Oh,
training
stop
All right,
whining. This
okay.
is the best use of AI I've ever. This is
might be, it
goodliest
might
of the
be.
week.
Yeah. I'm with Matt
I
on that
bet
one.
you.
And the person who wrote this uploaded, I think they uploaded like 15 photos, and the chatbot, the AI, scored 6 of them. For some reason, they couldn't do the rest. And they got a range of scores from 3 to somewhere in the 7s based
Wow.
on the different photos. So it's not very accurate.
Sounds
I'm
like
going
ES
right on to chatbot after
This
this.
sounds like an ESG ratings score. All right, come on.
I'm also going to
Let's vote.
upload
This is
our
Who's the
entire.
hottest free float team member?
No, I'm uploading our entire director database of photos into Hot Chat 3000, and then we're gonna put that at the bottom of each
It's
of
Now
their
going
we're
to
photos.
talking.
skew it more, though, because it's mostly white people.
This is
we're
hilarious.
talking.
It's
That's
gonna
right.
skew it more.
Well, as if it wasn't already
No,
skewed.
it is. It
Yeah,
is.
Of course
yeah.
it is.
So, anyways, I hope I gave you some good material there.
I love that. That should have been a goodliest.
Yeah, that was really good.
Not exhausting.
Hot Chat 3000.
I'm gonna go with moms because Damien tried to minimize it by saying Sweden has few people.
Honestly, I am a little sick of hearing about
Moms?
Sweden.
You don't like moms?
Sweden?
I mean,
Oh,
I'm a little
Sweden.
sick of Sweden. They're,
All right.
they're
Well, I'm
secret-
not-
Well,
they're
that's
secretly
why I
Because
wanted.
you're jealous.
secretly anti-Semitic, secretly racist,
Oh.
openly
they are
homogenous. They don't let anyone in. I'm just saying, I'm a little sick of Sweden.
I
here.
knew this,
Sounds like
and
Maine.
that's why I wanted to list
little bit,
out
yeah.
those other countries that weren't Nordic, because
Oh.
I knew that we were gonna, have something to say about. Okay, the Nordic countries, I get it. That's why I wanted to list the others.
Well, I can't go with Utah mostly because that's more like stupidest of the week, not exhaustingest.
That's idiotic.
And the AI, like Hot Chat 3000, is goodliest, so it leaves me with moms.
Yeah, that's a clear. I'm going to agree with Matt. Clear exhaustingest is any thing that moms have to do to overcome, burdens to just be in the workplace is, of course, completely exhausting. It's terrible. And in fact, there was a story this week that Twitter has reduced its parental leave to 2 weeks. So it's
Wow.
So whatever your
surprising.
They'll give you 2 extra weeks tacked on to whatever your state gives you. So if your state gives you practically nothing, which is the case in most American states, you're getting nothing. And this is down from like 3 months. So he really slashed that.
Well, I'm going to go with Hot Chat 3000.
Why? You're exhausted?
Oh, boo.
No, this is the part that's going to exhaust me when it comes out in the news later. Men who get rated, let's say, a 5, they're going to shoot for an 8. They're going to be very dissatisfied with this.
Yeah.
I know.
Right.
So they're going to hate the service.
It's
and
like
they're
an Uber
gonna
rating.
They're
complain
going to
about it.
complain.
Yep.
The men are going to take it down.
Yep.
Men will take down the
They'll
service.
just keep
'cause-
uploading photos of themselves at different angles until they get rated.
And then
An 8.
they'll
That
want
sounds
more.
exhausting.
Yeah.
The whole concept.
All right.
It's just not going to work.
Let's wrap up the show with winners and predictions. Anyone want to go? Who won the week?
I got a quick winner here.
Yeah.
It's George Soros' brother. He won the week because did anybody know that Soros had a brother?
We knew.
Number
We
one?
reported on this story already, Matt.
I'm saying he won this week because the
true.
news
That's
broke
true.
elsewhere. And number 2, that his brother had a foundation. And number 3, that his foundation gave out scholarships to people who would become future presidential candidates. I feel like Soros' brother, the Daisy and Paul Soros Foundation, is that what it is?
Yes.
I think Paul Soros won the week.
Well, he'll accept that from his grave site. No longer with us. He can still be a winner, right?
No, you can still win.
When you're
There's no
dead?
rules.
Yeah. My winner
You make
is
up the rules.
NextEra Energy Chair John Ketchum because he gets to sit on my team's board with 5 incredible women, 2 Hall of Famers, and 3 All-Stars. So John Ketchum, you're welcome. You're welcome.
That's you. We haven't gotten a call from his office yet thanking us.
Any other winners?
Yeah, I have a winner.
Woo!
Her name
Ooh,
is
Jesse,
Her
yes.
name is Mary Silvestri. She's a fellow CT resident. She's 92 years old, and her life just got made this week because when she was a teen, she had a tryout with the Rockettes,
Right.
but she could not make it to the tryout. She just could not get a ride. No one could bring her from Connecticut
Metro
to New York
North,
City.
hello.
She just couldn't work it out.
All right.
So all her life, that was a regret of hers, right? Not getting to those. So the Rockettes just let her audition in their latest audition this week. So she spent a whole day just high kicking, learning how to do a
What is
bevel.
Jesse, what is her Hot Chat 3000 rating? Do you know
I
that?
don't know. I didn't ask. I didn't put her through. I didn't run her through. But she also gave a pep talk to the 800 hopeful Rockettes.
Is this your
that are
grandmother,
just trying to
Jesse?
get in.
Is this really your grandmother? No.
Yeah, I don't know
Believe
why.
it or not, no relation. I just saw that and it was just
Strangest
cute
winner
and
ever.
happy.
Yeah, weirdest winner.
Predictions.
Nobody won this week for me.
Predictions.
I got a prediction for you.
Yeah.
When you run
Ooh.
my fantasy draft board through Hot Chat 3000, it will crush your
Well,
boards.
wait, but we can
by
at least
far.
do this,
Tim
right?
Cook,
Yes, by far.
Well, it will crush
Because Matt
He might be right.
Googled them,
might
and
be
then he
right.
was like, "Is this person hot or not?"
Wait,
that
can
was
we do
another
this?
filter.
Can
Yes.
we do this? Okay.
Not legally, probably, but
All right.
yes.
My prediction is very long-winded, but bear with me. I always like to do a little bit of board sabermetrics data, so here it is. I'm predicting a glass cliff scenario brewing at Cayman Corporation. Okay, an aerospace
Fake company?
aerospace company headquartered in Bloomfield, Connecticut. Where's Bloomfield, Connecticut? I don't even know. Where is that?
It's close.
It's
near
right
us.
next to West Hartford.
Yeah. Here's why. They have a bench warmer
My friend
CEO.
works there.
Okay, well, then they should listen up
Okay.
very carefully. They have a bench warmer CEO chair, Ian Walsh is currently the CEO. He's hitting 756 in earnings, but only 150 in TSR. Okay.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, the rest of the board is outperforming him. And I also noticed that Ian has 37% of the board influence, but
That's
there
a
is
lot.
there's a cohort of 4 female directors that control 39% of the board influence. I think they're going to take them down. I think they're going to install a woman there at Cayman Corporation. I know that's a weird one, but
Wow, that is weird.
I want to look back at the rest of the year and get some of these weird ones right. So that's my prediction. They're going to be a woman.
Mine is more likely to happen. Hot
woman
Chat
running
3000, more likely
Cayman
to happen.
Corporation. Anyone else?
Any other
No.
predictions? That's it. No predictions from our play. Half the team just doesn't know how to make a prediction, apparently. They just quit on us. That's all we got. That's Damian Rollis and Jesse the Money Whisperer, Ari the Data Queen. I am full of BS. Until next week, goodbye.